Good afternoon to everyone present here. I, Ishita Tyagi, Assistant Professor Law, Coordinator of today's session, welcome you all. As we all know, IIC Institutions Innovation Council of IIMT College of Law is organizing a series of events to inculcate among the youth the spirit of research, innovation, and entrepreneurship under the guidance of our respected Director Ma'am Dr. Monica Rastogi. Today we have Dr. Seema Sharma, who will be our esteemed speaker, and she will be speaking on the topic Importance of Research and Innovation in Higher Education. Dr. Seema Sharma has an experience of more than 30 years with Higher Education Department of the Government of Uttar Pradesh. Beginning her career as a professor in English literature, she grew within the system to hold numerous faculty as well as administrative roles. Her areas of research include gender diversity, female entrepreneurship, and psychoanalysis in Indian literature. Welcome, ma'am. A hearty welcome, and over to you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Shweta. I am thankful to you that you have given me a chance to speak on such a relevant topic. First of all, I welcome to all students, faculty members, and all learned persons who are involved in this meeting. I am thankful to Professor Dr. Monica Rastogi, President Director, IMT Law College, Greater Noida. I am again thankful to the convener who has given me this chance to speak to the students. I am thankful to all the listeners that they will listen patiently to my views. It is an important topic, as well as the students of higher education, they will get much knowledge from it, because higher education is a very important field, because after getting a degree, a certificate, or a diploma, a student goes directly for some job and creates some new thing in his employment. So it is a very important prospect of the society when students are getting learning and then they are showing their learning in different fields. Now, research and innovation in higher education. What is research? To create something that is already existing. Search and research. The thing is already existed, but we have to create new dimensions, new views. We have to generate new things from it. So, I am an academic with more than 30, as you have already told, my experience is more than 30 years. Today, we are going to tell about the aspects of higher education in India. As you know, that in India, the learning in ancient models, learning was in front, gurus or gurukuls were there. There was interaction, directly interaction was there, and gurus were telling and students were learning. It was a very easy model. But now in new age learning, pedagogies are changing. Now we have to approach more and more. So the evolving model of higher education was the University of Bologna. It is the oldest university of Italy. It was established in the year 1088 and it is still running. So it is the oldest university giving education till now also. As we talk to our India, our ancient university was Takshila, and Takshila, it started in 5th or 6th century BC. It is established, it was established in Gandhar, now it is in Pakistan. On the right side, there is a picture, you can see how students were were doing work there with their oblong palettes. Students may learning it, how the students of drawing, they use to mix different types of colors to get painting. Here, the students of the Buddhist art of Gandhara is shown in this picture. Now, it was very typical time when they were not having so means of working. Even then, art and culture was preserved for future generation. The Vedas and the other things, skills such as archery, hunting, elephant lore were taught in these universities. Law school was there, medical school was there, school of military science was there, Ayurvedic science was taught there. So in Takshila University, we find how many courses were taught to the students, and it was the oldest university of our country. Now, in next slide, I have told you about Nalanda University. The University of Nalanda, 5th century to 12th century CE in India, was one of the greatest achievement in the field of education. Nalanda University was the greatest achievement of our country, and the admission process of this Nalanda University was not an easy one. It was an strict university. Admission process was an strict one, because most of the students, perhaps they were getting the test, and this test was conducted for the admission of the students and to judge their abilities, whether they are able to get higher education or not. At that time, it was not possible for every student to get higher education. So they have to undergo some written test or entrance test. Then only the students were given admission in university. So Nalanda University has produced also so many academicians in our country. Here, as I have shown, it was 9-storied building where university library was there, and 10,000 students, 2,000 teachers. The teacher-student ratio was very good, 1 to 5. Only 5 students were there in the contact of one teacher. So you can judge how much attention was given to particular one student by a teacher. So when students were in direct touch of the teacher, they were learning too much and they were getting more knowledge, and whatever problem was there, it was solved in front of teacher directly. Students from Korea, Japan, China, Tibet, Indonesia, Persia, all used to study here in Nalanda University. And students studied science, astronomy, medicine, logic, and all other important difficult studies, metaphysics, philosophy, Sankhya, yoga, all these studies, Buddhism was taught there. So Nalanda University was a university with great and all other activities were done there. In my next slide, I have described earlier pedagogy of education. The picture shows how teacher was interacting to the students. Students were given in a very few ratio, focuses on a lecture's performance and presentation of material, essentially transferring information to the class. In India, the Gurukul-based learning system was followed. Gurukul based learning, where students were living resident, they were resident of that very Gurukul, and they were living through day and night and getting different types of knowledge from their teachers. Access to information has expanded now. Now, as the time has been getting enhanced and technology is getting more and more development. So from 1975, when computer was invented, to 1998, when we have reached to Google search, much development have been done. There is too much development of technology that in contemporary time, really we are using so much, we are using so much technology that our whole life depends on technological works. In next 10 years, it is possible that more automation will be done in our technology. Graduates job taken over machine processing, finance and accounting. If you remember, in past time, so many accountants were employed and working in one office only, and then manual work was there, time was taken too much. But now what is happening? Now this work is done by computer, where data mining is there, data is collected, and during these years so much data is collected that if you do some work on, if I book an Uber once at a time at 10 o'clock in the morning, then this data is collected, and after 10 or 20 days, Uber will give some complimentary coupon to a person who is daily booking it. So it shows that data mining is already there in that very company, and the company is giving us facility also. So technology is a contemporary reality of today. New learning model needs to get development in future also. Simulation of a new skill helps impart costly training as flight instructor, surgeon, policing. Simulation, when this manual work of training has been done by computer or by some machinery, then it becomes more easy. It becomes easy in the sense that if we are trying to learn driving or flight instructor, these instructors are giving training through machine, and it becomes more easy, and the learner gets it soon. So the activity of surgeon, the activity of policing, all are done through technology, and technology is helping us to a great extent. New pedagogy in education. As you know that information transfer part of teaching, but ensuring learning is critical. When a teacher is giving some lecture and a student is learning from there, so it is a dimensional activity, teacher to student and student to teacher, because teacher is also taking feedback also, what the student has learned from the lecture. So it is a process when teacher is giving some knowledge to the student through a lecture, and then taking a feedback whether the student has learned it or not. So student is getting it by doing so many activities, experiments are there, then tests are there. We are taking the feedback in so many activities. Active and experimental learning pedagogies are there, supported. Assessment is authentic and frequent. Assessment is not taken only once in a year, just like an annual examination. No, assessment is taken time to time so that the process may be easy. If a syllabus is so wide, then we are taking so many assessments so that we may get the knowledge whether the student is getting our teaching easily or not. In this slide, when I have tried to show that equality, equity, and liberation. These are three activities. Equality, when we have given equal facilities to all students. As you all know that students in a class are found of different capacity, of different knowledge. Some students are too bright, some are less bright. So equality, if we give equal resources to all students, then we find that few are left. They are unable to take knowledge, they are unable to pick up the learning. So in second scene, when equity is there, when we have given support to only those who were deserving, and those who are able, they can see the view, then it is equity. And liberation, when we have put out all the hindrances, all the hurdles are removed, and all are looking equally. So leveling of every student is required, and it is needed. It should be done. That liberation must be done to all. Good teaching and learning is inclusive. Teaching which engages students in learning, that is meaningful. Again, important thing is that we should take only meaningful part, then only student will be getting research in their mind. They will begin to think, they will pay attention only, and they will give more output when meaningful would be taught to them. Relevant should be taught to them. Then accessible to all. View of individual difference as a source of diversity that can enrich the lives and learning of others. Now I have given a picture in this slide. Student from below to above, students frequency, and then students are participants. Here we have taken this view, that learning is maximized when the student undertake independent research. Learning will be more meaningful to them if they do independent research in that very syllabus, and problem solving after acquiring an academic knowledge. They solve problems by themselves, then only it will be benefitable to them. There are 4 angles: research tutors, research based, and research led, and research oriented. So all the 4 things will be focused when student will be engaged in our curriculum, in our syllabus designing. Then they will take 4 steps, and then students will surely participate and will create a new thing. That will be a research work. Emphasis on research process and problems. Again, co-creation of course outline. Student faculty assume a partnership in learning transfer, working together towards the mutual goal of knowledge acquisition. 2 things are important. Student and faculty, they both work as partnership, as partners, and then learning will be transferred. So if they work together towards a mutual goal, then knowledge will be acquired by the students. Now I have given you this in a stair manner. Student control decision making and have substantial influence. In program design, team member, fieldwork task decisions, selected assessment from a list. It may be an essay or web page or presentation. It may be in any mode. Module feedback collected. When feedback will be collected in, then through this module, we can learn what students are feeling a problem or what improvement can be done. Here, student curriculum, interaction with them, then participation. They will participate in it. They will give their own choices. their choices will be written and complemented, and these choices will be merged in our curriculum. Then only output will be best. It enables students to learn excellently. What will be the result of it? If we mix the students in our curriculum, in our activities, then the output will be better. Why? Enables students to learn excellently. They will learn excellently. Create leaders for the future. When they will be mixed with the faculty, they will be best leaders, because they are going to learn leadership from the very classroom. Every student needs to be exposed to research to all stages of their degree. Every student needs to be exposed. Every student will be exposed. Whether you have a section of 80 students or more than 80, even then, every student will come in the contact of a teacher, and research will be generated, or he will begin to think, or she will begin to think how something can be added to it. It will create research mind in a student. The student really feel they are part of the research group. In all years, they contribute usefully. They will contribute in a useful manner. Then co-creation of assessments. Assessments, simple, timely, and frequent assessments must be done. Assessment must be frequently. It must not be annually. In classes, in groups, TA faculty can take assessments and can give more work to the students so that they may start thinking in their mind. Group plan, reports and presentations. Presentations must be given to them. Reports of data analysis, encyclopedia entry, group discussions, debates, research proposals. These activities can be given to the students. Reports on causes and effect. Sometimes case study analysis must be given to the students so that they may begin to think and then to write. It is the starting of a research work. When the student begins to think in his own mind and gives new ideas, action plan must be done, and simulation exercises can be introduced to the students. All these press conferences can be organized. All these can be done only to engage students in better improvements envisaged in NEP. As far as the question of national education policy is concerned, it has also tried to bring some changes. Yes, in our old policies, there were some lacunas that were noticed by so many researchers, and then they tried to bring new things. Significant learning. How significant learning can be done? It can be done learning how to learn. First of all, a student should know how he has to learn, how he has to care, how he has to take human dimensions, applications, integrations, fundamental knowledges. Then only a significant learning can be done. Again, evolution of education policy. University Education Commission was formed in 1948, and till then, in as in 20 in 2019, when Dr. K. Kathuri Rangan report came, then this policy was designed. So after so many years, from 1948 to 2019, there came so many changes and so many difficulties were felt in our education policies. And in this, there were so many challenges identified by the committee in during these periods. In this period, so many challenges were identified. Uh, these consultants of committee formers, they found so many people's 2.5 lakhs gram panchayats, 6600 gram panchayats and blocks and other were consulted for this work. And then it was found that severely fragmented higher education ecosystem, higher education system found that syllabus is in fragments. It should be united and multidisciplinary. It must be multidisciplinary, then only student will get knowledge of all fields. There is less emphasis on the development of skills and outcome of them. In our old policy, it was found that there is less emphasis. Emphasis was there on skill development, but it was less. So more focus must be given to skill development. Special help for socio-economical disadvantaged areas. Social help was needed for the students who were socially disadvantaged, and institutions should use local language or bilingual. Both languages should be introduced for the benefit of the students. There is inadequate mechanism for merit-based management and for the progression of faculty. It was also supposed that there is less effort given for this progression of faculty and all other things. That is less focus on research in most of the institutions. Another important point that was missing in our old policy was that less focus was given on research work. So it must be improved. Research work should be done more, or students and teachers both should be unitedly perform in it. Major reforms were taken. Major reforms were taken to improve this education policy. Holistic and multidisciplinary education, flexibility of subjects, as multi subjects would be given. Arts student can learn science and commerce also, so that he may get more knowledge of it. And students who are learning science and who are learning medical science, they must be not only of allopathic, they must given some knowledge of homeopathy also and other fields also, so that they may be not deprived from other fields. Credit transfer and academic bank of credits. In new education policy, this is one provision that is given for a student. If a student leaves this university and goes in some another university, then his credits would be stored, and then credits will be transferred to next university where he will complete his degree or his diploma. Higher education institutions, research intensive, teaching intensive university and autonomous degrees granting colleges. Higher education institutions have a great responsibility. They have to teach student, they have to develop different skills in a student, and then they have to give good outputs. How good outputs can be given? In different institutions, you can see that grading is there. They have to fight for good grading. They have to perform so many activities for grading, as well as for the development of student skills also. So here we have to learn more for the multidisciplinary students, and they will give help to the administration of colleges and universities also. Graded autonomy. Again, one important thing: academic, administrative, and financial. Universities and institutions all must have some autonomous power. If they have all the boundaries of others, then they are not freely working. Their working is not free. So some autonomous power should be given to the institutions, to universities, so that they can work freely. And such systems as PFMS or general rules of finance, GFR, all these are introduced for financial work, so that the institutions may work properly within a time. Generally, it is found that funds are given to institutes, but not properly used in infrastructure, in building making, or other things. So they must be given, either universities or institutions, freedom must be there for them for academic, administrative work to do. Phasing of affiliation system, national mission of mentoring, mentors would be there, and national mission is framed for it. Independent board of governance, single regulatory for higher education. All these things, all these things can be done only when they would be given freedom. Public investment in education sector to reach 6% of GDP at the earliest. Again, it is a crucial thing that how much budget has been allotted to education. So more budget should be allotted to the investment of education, so that our institutes, our universities, they may learn, they may get more, and they may improve their condition for the research work, or new things must be introduced for PhD students in our universities. Major reforms are generally found in this new education policy for in the use of technology, education planning, teaching, learning, assessment, administration, management. All the things should be done through technology. Regulation, self-disclosure, and minimum human interference. Increasing access for disadvantaged groups. Divyang friendly education software should be introduced in our institutions. Then student will get more benefit. E-content in regional languages. Now, during pandemic, you must be knowing how e-content has become more important. Students are given online education. E-content is uploaded in a particular library. E-library has been formed by our Uttar Pradesh government, and e-content is uploaded there. Then they have given a reward. The college or the university which has given more e-content with great importance, then they have been given a reward to. National Educational Technology Forum. Then most the things are depending on the outcome, what a institution is giving or what students are learning there. Curriculum to integrate according to 21st century skills, mathematical thinking, and scientific temper. Now our students have to face new things according to skills. No rigid separation between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. No rigid separation should be given. All the students should take either one or another. Education of gifted children. It is again more important thing. Some students are gifted. They have more knowledge. So our structure should be that more gifted students should be given more of importance, and they should be given more thinking. Gender inclusion fund. Gender inclusion fund, when girls and or transgenders all should be given more funds and more facilities. Reduction in curriculum to core concepts. Curriculum should be of having core concepts should be given more importance. Then I have given you one picture of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. This lecture has been given in Allahabad University, when he says a university stands for humanism, for tolerance, for reason, for progress, for the adventure of ideas, and for research, for truth. Just to see, in that time, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was saying, in a convocation of Allahabad University, he was saying that university is supposed to give good research and good product. So it was supposed in so early age from India. So what is the great challenge for us now? Now it has become a great challenge. In future also, it stands for the onward march of the human race towards even higher objectives. If the universities discharge their duty adequately, it is it is well with the nation and the people. But if the temple of learning itself becomes a home of narrow, bigotry, and petty objectives, how then will the nation prosper or people grow to stay? How if we are busy in small things and we are thinking only to find out the weaknesses of others, then we cannot learn higher ideas, then we cannot bring new ideas, and output will be less. So let us think about the ideas that Pandit Nehru has given to us and think more positively about more research and outcome. Whatever we are learning today, it will be better and fruitful for future. Thank you.
So with this, we conclude our session. On behalf
Okay.
of IMT College of Law, with all due respect, I would like to thank you, ma'am, for your presence at this workshop and
Okay.
deliver such a knowledgeable lecture. Thank you all the viewers for being such patient listeners. And B, and it has been a very interesting session. We really appreciate you, ma'am, for taking out time from your busy schedule. It's always been our pleasure to have you with us, and we look forward to see you again for upcoming events. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.